So this is a partial example of the links page you need to create. You'll have to have more links in each section, but I want to go through some of the features that are added here before I get into the code. And I'm doing this in Chrome because it's got some great tools for helping you be a more effective designer and for letting you test and debug things. So you'll notice that these buttons have different text colors. That's because the gold ones are for sections that I've already clicked on. So that shows a visited link. They have a mouse over effect, and these are just links with special styling. And then inside the links, they go to different locations. So like this one goes to a target of blank that opens it in a new page. So does this one. This one also has a tooltip. It's a title where it says click here to see a cute kitten. Bonus, you actually get to see 3 cute kittens. And that opens into a new page, so we'd close it to go back to here. So there are some issues with the page, but this is really early in this semester. And I'm going to show you some of the tools that Chrome has to make debugging, fixing, and improving these better. So I'm going to go into the inspect area instead of view page source. Now, if you just want to see my code, view page source is the best way to do it. But if I do the inspect, now this is showing me this is not a responsive site. This is really early in the semester, but I see that these are smushing into each other. That's the technical term, smushing. And I can go and I can click on this inspect item, and I can click on, I want to actually look at the nav section. And I'm going to scroll nav. So what I would do to fix this would be I'd add a line height. And because this is the second time I've recorded this tonight and I've been fighting with Camtasia for eating my recordings, I know how big I want to make the line height. So this is like double spacing when you're making a paper. So you're just going to use a whole number here. You don't use pixels or anything. So that it's still cutting things off here, but they're not smushing on top of each other. To do a truly responsive site will take a different approach, but this at this level does help. So let's take a look at those lovely buttons. One of the cool things, and I just really like having this set of tools to show you how the page works. So it's really important to understand the box model. So this is our box model, and as you notice, I'm clicking here, it's changing colors on this button. So this is our content. Between our content and our border, we have padding. And you'll notice looking at the picture that I have 10 pixels of padding top and bottom. And you'll notice that this is where I declare that 10 pixels, the first one is top and bottom, the second one is left and right. So you'll see here, padding 20 and 20. And if I were to take off the padding, they'd get a little smaller. That's to make the buttons a little bigger. The margin sets the spacing between the buttons. So I'm spacing them out a little bit. So again, you've got the top and bottom of 10 and the left to right of 20, and that actually stacks. So you're actually getting 40 because you're getting, here, let me hover over it. See the sort of goldish brown blocks that are next to it? You're getting 10 pixels on each side, 10 to the left, 10 to the right. So when you get them side by side, they double. Actually, 20 to the left, 20 to the right, and they double, and they're leaving 40 pixels between the buttons. This text decoration one's important because that's what's removing your underline. And notice that I do have a border here. That's important on the mouse over, so it still looks like a button. And then my visited links, nav A, so anchors, and this is like a pseudo state. It's a visited state. And then there's also a hover, which is in here somewhere. But that's what's doing this. So you can look at and change these and turn off and on the styles to see what they're doing. But you can also go up here to the top of the page, and we can get into, I think I closed it, sources. That's what I want. And so this is just the code. So I have a style sheet. This is a generic code for all 3 pages for this week's work. This is the specific page, and these will override any, if we had a common element that we were defining in the style sheet, because this is added after the styles, it would win. If we changed the order, then the styles would win. So this is how I've customized this. So I have my text align center with a line height of 3. Nav A, so this is anchor tags or link tags in the nav section. So it doesn't affect these links here outside of the nav section. They're only the ones in the nav section. And then we've set the background to teal, border 3 pixels, solid teal, border radius 20. This one's cool. Let's go if I can go back to the inspect. And if I turn off the border radius, they're square. So that's what border radius is doing for you. And the visited and the hover, and this just flips the background and font colors when you mouse over. And then everything's in the class container. This gold box defines that class. And I have these links. Now the index page, that takes you back to the home page, but these other ones have these pound signs in front of them because they're not hashtags. But we have weights, DIY, swing, images, and you'll notice that these align with the IDs. Now, we've been using, and I haven't really explained how we're using classes and IDs. Classes let you define a style that can be applied to multiple types of things. So I've been using the container class. It starts with a dot. And I like that because I can have multiple containers on one page, or I could also apply, instead of it just being applied to a div, I can apply that style to like a header or a footer, and I can use it as many times as I want on the page. For the IDs, they have to be unique on that page. So I can only have, looking here, that where it's the swing dancing one, I only have one ID named swing. And that's important. We can do styling for a unique thing. That's totally cool. But we also, by using the ID, we're creating this spot on the page that we can link to. So if I hit cute kittens, it takes me down here to the kitten photo. And that's because of this ID right here. So it's named images here, and then the pound sign plus images tells the browser, hey, pound sign, we're on the same page. That's what it means. And then images is the name of the specific spot on the page, and it will take us to it. IDs are also used for JavaScript to uniquely identify specific pieces of the page that we can interact with. So I've got a couple other features in here that you should see the code on. So the target equals blank, open things into a new window. And the title, where I got the click here to see cute kitten, that's how you do your tooltips. So lots of fun practicing with links. Again, you need to have more in each section than I'm demoing. I'm just giving you a pattern to follow. Don't copy mine. Don't use my links. Do your own stuff and pick your own colors. Play with these things. Do some buttons, but they don't have to be square. And if you really want to have some fun, play with the border radius with a % instead of a pixel and see what happens.